2020 quarter two real estate market like we've never seen ever, at least in my 40 years of being here. But let me tell you folks, I've completely dialed you in on how this pandemic has been affecting our local real estate markets here on the west side, particularly to Mar Vista, Venice, Santa Monica, and Brentwood. So if you guys haven't checked those out already, it's imperative that you check it out right now because it's going to provide a basis for what we're about to jump into, because I want to make sure that not only you have a complete understanding, transparent understanding of what's happening with respect to the general real estate market in Mar Vista, Venice, Santa Monica, and Brentwood, but also what's going on with respects to new and newer construction in those markets, because as we know, we're seeing homes still being built on every single street or every other street or every other block for that matter. And let me tell you, my builder clients, and they number up into the double digits, they're still looking for opportunities across the west side. So if you happen to be looking for that opportunity to sell off market without any hassle, especially right now in the pandemic market that we're experiencing right now, please reach out with a comment below because I'm happy to facilitate that. Without further ado, let's find out exactly what happened in Mar Vista's new and newer construction real estate market in quarter two and how the pandemic had its way with it. Hey, what's up guys? It's Eric Haas with EXP in sunny Southern California on the west side of Los Angeles. Welcome to my channel, especially if you're joining me for the first time. If you're returning, thanks so much. I appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, make sure you're liking, commenting, and smashing that subscription button. Ring that little bell because that makes sure that YouTube knows you're feeling my content and I'm always delivering value and I'm staying motivated to do so. But I'm here to keep you dialed in on how this pandemic is not only impacting our local lives here on the west side of Los Angeles, but also how it's impacting our local real estate markets, and tips, tricks, and strategies that you can be implementing as a buyer, seller, or investor to stay successful in this market or any market for that matter. Now let's dial in how this new construction market is looking for Mar Vista. Before we can get into the numbers of Mar Vista's new and newer construction for quarter two 2020, it's absolutely crucial that we take a look at what actually is going on right here, right now with the active inventory so that we can have a clear understanding of whether or not that matches up with solds of quarter two 2020 or solds of quarter two 2019 for that matter. And I've got all three columns here identifying that, and we're going to jump into it right here, right now. So right here, we're looking at the current, and we've got 71 homes currently available for sale. Now, of those 71, 34% or 24 of them are new and newer construction. Now, what I mean by new and newer construction, we're talking 2010 or newer. Now, if we're looking at the median price, we're at $2.9 million. We're going to look at quarter two sold just in a second, see how it fares up with that median price active at $2.9 million. You see a little minus 8%. We'll get into that in a minute. Average price per square foot right now is $945 a square foot for new and newer construction only. And then here's the important one, number of reductions. There have been 10 price reductions for new and newer construction. And that doesn't even take into consideration the trend of agents taking homes off the market, simply reducing them, and then coming back on as brand new. Well, they're obviously not brand new. It's the price that's brand new, but you're simply sitting with a stale listing. Now, on that note, let's look at the solds quarter two 2020 because we're going to compare it up right now. So, number of solds were 17 in quarter two of 2020. Now, 17 of actually 53 homes that sold. So that is 32% of the actual sold homes in Mar Vista were new and newer construction. Now, we're looking at that median price, and as I mentioned, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it now. So there's an 8% discrepancy between the active listing median price versus the sold average median price. And so 2.7 million is where we're at. That's a more transparent number. That's a more realistic number compared to this 2.9 million. And that's why we're seeing the reductions occurring more frequently. Now, if we look at the average price per square foot, not a huge discrepancy, but it is a discrepancy, 11%, and that's attributed a lot to the number of sold homes as well. So when there's only 53 homes that are selling and 17 of them are the new and newer construction, when you have homes that are selling at a higher price point, say at $4+ million, it's going to drive that median price up as well as that average price per square foot up. So we're not seeing that right now, but they're hoping that's going to happen for the actives, which unfortunately hasn't been the case thus far. Now, if we're looking at the number of homes that have sold over the asking price, we've got 3 that actually sold above the asking price in Q2 of 2020. We've had 3 that sold at the asking price and a bigger number of 11 selling under the asking price. Now, the average sold price versus the original list price is at a 97%. So it's getting a 97% of the original average list price. Now, if we look at Q2 2019 versus Q2 2020, a little bit more of a discrepancy. Of the 91 homes that sold in Q2 of 2019, 18 were new or newer construction, equating to 20%. Now, interesting enough, there are more new and newer construction home sales in Q2 of 2020 based on that. 32%, again, of the homes that sold in Q2 of 2020 were new and newer construction. Now, if we look at the median price, though, for sold Q2 2019, we're looking at a $2.9 million median price. It really substantiates the median current price that we're experiencing right now. Unfortunately, Q2 was a little bit different for 2020, and we saw a drop of 8% to $2.7 million. Now, look at the average price per square foot, not much of a difference, a 2% drop, $19. Not much really to say there, but the main thing here is that median price drop. Now, if you're thinking that the market's rebounded and you're telling me that $2.9 million median price for new and newer construction and dropping $200,000, if that's a rebound and the market's back to where it was, well, then my God, I got to get out of the business. But to be honest, this is the transparency of the market, and a lot of the new and newer construction homes are still seeing price reductions to get sold. But there are quite a few, and in fact, one of my own, 12518 Indianapolis Street, happened to sell off market. There is still a major demand amongst buyers, but that price has to be on point. That's the major thing right now, and that's what the median price is telling us right now too, is that price is everything right now if you want to be a successful seller. If you want to be a successful buyer, pay attention to these overpriced homes that are taking these reductions, and you may find yourself getting a better deal than you ever thought you could. Now, if we're looking at what sold at the asking price in 2019 of Q2, it's pretty much even. 3 homes sold at asking, 1 more sold below asking, and then we were on point with 3 on 3 for selling above asking as well with respects to Q2 2020 and Q2 2019. Now, 1% discrepancy with the average sold price versus the average original list price, not major. But again, folks, price is everything right now. You got to make sure that you do it right the first time, or you're going to be a sitting duck, and the buyers aren't out there in droves. So make sure that you're taking advantage of it. You know, yes, you have a first time impression, but you know what? With the right marketing strategy, one that's dialing in that Amazon strategy of pay to play, where you see products popping up after you've been to Amazon, after you were searching. Same thing can be done with houses as well. That's something I'm a pro at. And if you ever are thinking about selling in this market, I'd be happy to dial you in on how that all works, because I made it work for my Indianapolis house with 2 coming soon Facebook ads where we had over 60 interested buyers, had a full price offer, we closed in 30 days, and it's a done deal. So on that note, I hope you guys found tremendous value in this video. Keep it dialed in here. I also have a tremendous amount of builders that are looking in the neighborhood as well. So if you have that opportunity that you might think is a teardown, please drop a message below, because I'd love to get in touch with you, and let's close the deal together. Have a great one, be safe, and take care.